Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, thank you. So today's main topic is the core democratic values found in the Buddhist teaching. A little bit more politics. Huh? Okay. First of all, religious values in democracy. So since we are talking about the religious values in democracy, we also need to look back the brief history of democracy and democratization as well. I think many of you already noticed about that. After the two revolutions, the French Revolution and the American Puritan Revolution, then democratic system set in the western part of Europe, and European dwellers in the United States. However, democratic system was not fully developed yet until 19th century. It is set in the 18th century, but until 19th century there's no democracy yet. Anyhow, let's make it short. First of all, the countries who changed to democratic systems were Protestant countries. Majority of the people are Protestants, like in the United States, French, and in England. At that time, some scholars and researchers argue that democracy is only good for the Protestants, go along with the Protestant values. Yes, it's correct at the time. However, in the late 20th century, almost all the Roman Catholic countries also changed to democratic systems. So their statement was not reliable anymore. First of all, only the Protestant values go along with the democracy. Actually not. It also goes along with Roman Catholic values as well. So that, let us say, democracy already developed in some countries. At that time, many religions advocate that they also have democratic values, including Islam. Some values are quite similar. For example, like in a creator, the God system. Christianity believes in a God. The Islam also believes in Allah. Same, they believe in the moral codes for the government. So some rules, they share some values. However, at that time, only Turkey, only one country changed to democracies. But later part, partly, not fully, maybe the Malaysian, Indonesian, and Singapore are partly moved to democratic system. Then we cannot say anything about the religious values. It's more related to culture, the culture of society, not religious belief. Maybe like in India, India has been following the democratic system so many years ago. Maybe parliamentary system since 6th century BC. So let us see that India is it neither Roman Catholic nor Protestants. Sometimes they say, in order to practice a democracy, the economic development also necessary, but it's also not right. When India became a democracy, India was one of the poorest countries. So even the economic cannot say anything here. So to some degree, all these are true. However, strictly we cannot say anything about the religion or belief. Even the Christianity, some values share with democratic values. Not all. Islam as well. How about in the Buddhism? Do we share some religious values with the democratic systems? This is what I'm going to discuss today. Okay. So second one, 6th century BC. Was it a fully democracy or just parliamentary system? So since the time we can say democracy already established, coming to exist. However, there are two different levels. In 6th century BC, the democracy is called village level. Some people practice democracy in their own society, in their own race, or in their own religion. So 6th or 7th century BC, the democracy was village level. But now 20th century democracy is state level. So we call it state-based democracy and a village-based democracy. So 6th century BC is democracy is village-based, only the village level. So many Buddhist scholars quite often mention about the Lechui, the kings, Lechui kings. They practiced the parliamentary system. That was true. So what's the parliamentary system? First of all, they share the power, not authoritative anymore. In a parliamentary system, first of all, they share the power. Sometimes they rotate their position. Then, when necessary, they make decisions in group. Mainly, we can say up to three things. If they share their power, then they rotate their position, then decision is made in group. Then we call it as a parliamentary system. So in the Buddhist scholars quite often mention about the Lechui. Lechuis are practicing the beginning part of the democracy or parliamentary system. In fact, only the parliamentary, not really democracy. Why we say that there was not democracy? In the democracy, the sources of power must be the public. It's a key point. The Lechui, the king, the relatives of the Buddha, even though they were king, their power did not come from the public. They just merely support each other, not from the other races. I think all of you know that there are 4 castes in India, right? Kshatriya or Khattiya. They never seek for anyone to vote for them. They are too proud, very proud people. So their power did not come from the public. So my conclusion, their system is not the democracy, but they each other share the power. Sometimes they rotate their position. And also when they necessary to make the decision, they decision was made in group. So there was a parliamentary system. So we could say the village level, they already practiced parliamentary system, but not democracy yet. At the same time, in the other parts of the world, the Greeks and the Romans also practiced the democracy as well. However, their democracy was not a state-based one. The democracy of the Greeks and the Romans exclude women and the slaves and the other types of the people. Women did not have a right to vote. So that democracy was not fully democracy. So we can draw a conclusion here. Yes, democracy was already established there, but not fully developed yet. So what the Buddhism was saying about the democracy, democratic values. So when you talk about the religion, Buddhism, we can say that was a democracy. However, religious-based democracy. Yes, we can say at that time, the Buddhism was a religious-based democratic system. So in these days, how about the Lechui? What sort of the government they were? In these days, the Lechui, the kings are more like the military regimes. Military regime, they did not have any election. They were not elected by anybody. They just elect by themselves. So in our country, Myanmar military regimes, or Argentina or Brazil, all these governments are called military regimes. The Kshatriya or Khatiya or these Lechui, the governors in the Buddha's lifetime, they practice that way. So in these days, their government is more look like, in our day, it's more look like military regimes. Parliamentary system, but not the democratic one. So then, let us go to the meaning of the government. What is the government? What Buddhism say about that? In fact, we do not find much about this. But I think many people will know the 10 precepts of the kings. Do you know that? Dasa Raja Dhamma. 10 rules for the king, or 10 precepts of the king. The king should be followed. This discourse is delivered by the Buddha to King Bimbisara. There are 10 facts the king should practice. However, all these 10 are not new ones. The Buddha already taught in other places in the public. For example, generosity. It's not only related to the king. The Buddha also encouraged everyone, every Buddhist to do giving. Second one, morality. Is morality only for a king? No. And how about the kindness? No. It's for everyone, every Buddhist. There's no violence. I should not be the victim of the anger. Wow. Nothing is new. So, in the Rajavada Sutta, is it called some advice for kings? The Buddha stated 10 facts. However, all these 10 are not new ones. The Buddha already taught in other places to any Buddhist. So we cannot say these 10 just merely related to the king. No, no way. However, the Buddha gave an advice to the king Bimbisara. So we take a note that say some advice for kings. But nothing is new or already. So let us say, not only that, in the Buddhist teaching, The most famous sutta is Jataka is called Desaguna Jataka. In this Jataka, the Buddha showed some guidelines for the king. You know? So this is a Buddhist teaching. For example, a king should never fall into the victim of anger. Okay? Whenever dispute arises, he should pay equal attention to the both parties and hear the argument of each and decide what is right. This is the Buddha's advice to the kings. Then, should not act out of the favoritism. I think you already know. Favoring the wrong side. I think many of you are students of Bhante Cittara. You have full notes about akadi, favoring the wrong side. I'm thinking you have already know in your books, notebooks. I don't know if you will remember or not. Okay. And the next one is very interesting. A king should always favor the poor, but also protect the rich. Very meaningful teachings. Something like this. Do you remember who said that in Singapore? Huh? Your ex-prime minister, Lee Kuan Yew, said that. We cannot always listen to the poor. Huh? If we always listen to them and then we make them happy, then the rich people are not happy. Then the rich people go abroad, go overseas. When the rich people go overseas, you cannot collect the tax. If you cannot collect the tax, how can you operate the economics of the country? So quite similar, you know. It's the Buddha's advice. I do not know whether Mr. ex-prime minister have read the Buddha's teaching or not. He said he was a nominal Buddhist, but I don't think he could read all these things. But here in the Desaguna Jataka, the Buddha's advice was always should favor the poor, but remember to protect the rich. There is always a problem between the poor and the rich. No favoritism. Must treat them equally. This is the advice of the Buddha for all the kings. That's all we could find in the Buddhism regarding about the politics. So 10 precepts for the king is nothing new. But some advice could be found in the Desaguna Jataka. These are what the Buddha meant. This is our attitude to our standing point of the government. Then how about the other religions? Before the revolution, even in Europe, you know, listening to the king is listening to the gods. Then that means king had special privileges. You have to obey the king. Following what the king said, it means you are following what the gods teach. However, after many centuries later, Christianity changed. To them, God is a God. Caesar is a Caesar. What does it mean? Caesar means Julius Caesar, the Roman Empire king. So then, later, they hold this view. God is a God. Caesar is a Caesar. Then that means politics is a politics. Religion is a religion. Do not mingle with each other. God or religious leader, you just stay in the church. Don't get involved in our politics. This is later they changed. But earlier days, God and a king or government more or less the same. Listening to the God, listening to the king is listening to the God. How about the Hinduism? In Hinduism, all the kings are gods. I don't know whether you have watched the YouTube or not. I have watched it about 2 or 3 days ago. According to one Indian, the current president of the US, who? Donald Trump is a god now in India. He prayed in front of the Donald Trump's picture. And he bring along the Donald Trump's picture wherever he goes. In a working place, and then go to the paddy field, he bring along. And put the Donald Trump's picture into the higher place and then pay respect. And then pray some praying as well. At home, more grand. So then that means Donald Trump is still alive, but he is a king now. He is a god now. That's why in India, so many gods can be found. Not only the India, the same as Greeks. Greeks in India, there are so many gods. Okay? So according to Hinduism, the king themselves are the gods. So what the Buddhism say? Buddhism do not agree with that. Kings are not God. Kings are just merely human beings. And they were elected by the majority. This is a Buddhist standing point. The most famous sutta about this was the Aganya Sutta. Have you heard about it? Aganya Sutta. Very long discourse. I think Bhante Cittara already discussed it. The beginning of society systems and then so on and so forth. The beginning stage. Because the people not populated yet. They knew each other. So the precepts are already there. Nobody break the rules. I will share my knowledge. I went to a small village in my country. Everyone knows each other. They do not need a shopkeeper. Just only the box, something like our donation box. You want to buy something, you just look at the label. How much is it? $5. Then you take it and then put $5 into the box, that's all. I was there. Anybody still? No, nobody. We know each other. There's not many population. Populations are too small, and everyone knows each other very well. So no one dare to break the laws. Something like a CCTV is all the time. When the CCTV is around, our morality is stronger in a farmer. Is it true? Should be. Why not? Buddhist teaching support it. Okay. Anyhow, at that time, earlier stage, there are not many people. That's why they themselves keep their precepts. Even our temple and the Mangala Vihara. Now we have only 4 monks. We do not need any particular rules or laws. We understand each other. We live based on understanding. Let us say more monks, 10 monks and 20 monks and 30 monks and 40 monks and 50 monks. No way, not possible. We must have common laws. Otherwise, understanding not good enough, not strong in an animal. The same way in the Aganya Sutta, when the people of the population is bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, people start to break the laws, break the rules. Then they need king or someone who govern it. So approach to someone who is able. Okay, please be our king. We'll give you the tax. And please protect us. To those who should be punished, okay, please be punished on behalf of us. To those who should be praised, okay, please praised. For that, we will give you tax. Or on that day, they call it the portions. So many people approached. Then he said yes. That is why he became a king. So in the Buddhist teaching, here we call it Maha Sammata. What does it mean? The sources of the power, where does it come from? The sources of the power comes from public. It's a democracy, isn't it? According to the Aganya Sutta, democracy already established there. Mahasamada, the meaning is elected by majority, not all. More than 55% are elected, then it could be a king. So there is a democracy. No government have a support 100%. How about Singapore? 100%, yeah? No way. So the democratic system doesn't mean if someone is elected by the majority, is it called Mahasamada? The meaning of Maha, majority. Samada, elected. Elected by the majority. So the first name of the king is Mahasamada. He was the one elected by the majority. So it's a democratic system. Okay, let's see second one. Kshatriya. Sometimes it's pronounced Kshatriya as well in Sanskrit. Kshatriya. In fact, the meaning of the Kshatriya is the owner of the land. Kshatriya. Kita is called the land. Here, the owner. So Kshatriya meaning the owner of the land. So then that means the government can control all these land. Not only the land, landed properties as well. How it is called in Singapore? NTA. NTA, what is it? Stand for Land Transport Authority. Okay, not transport here. King also should be the transport as well in India. Landed Authority. Yes, Kshatriya is the meaning of that. So, it's not the wealth of the government, to me, or the right of the government. The government needs to protect its land. It's defensive. The same way, the government needs to protect the people. It is a state affairs. That is what we are calling in these days. First one is defense. Defense is under the military. State affairs is under the police. Quite similar into these cities. So, Kshatriya, that means the owner of the land, he has a duty, he has a right to protect the land. Singapore government has to protect his land. The same way, government has to protect his people as well. So this one is the word or the right of the government. It's another name of the king. Is it called Kshatriya? Later part, we call it is a warrior. In fact, warrior is not clear definition or translation. Kshatriya's original meaning is the owner of the land. That's the Kshatriya. So the last one, the last name of the king is called Raja. I don't mean the Bhante Raja. now we have a Raja as well. Sometimes I made a joke, a third story. Do you know Rajagha? What does it mean, Rajagha? Huh? Rajagha is the town, the capital. The meaning, Gaha means where he stay. Raja is a king. Rajagha means the place where the king resides. So sometimes in third story, I call it Rajagha. Okay. The meaning of a Raja is make the people satisfied. Raja meaning he needs to make the people satisfied, needs to make the people happy. It's the meaning of a Raja. So this is the responsibility or duty of a king. These three names can be found in the Aganya Sutta. Very, very long discourse. Very long discourse. So, what's the Buddhist standing point of the government? First of all, according to the Buddhism, the king Mahasamada, he must be elected by the majority. Then he's a king. So it's a democratic system. So in the world of the rights of the government, he needs to protect the land. But after the Second World War, not only the land, the sea, sky, the same. We must apply all these things. Earlier days, no ships. We don't have to worry about the sea. Then no airplane. No need to care about the sky. Now in these days, flight, fighting. So warships. That's why Katiya, the owner of the land, in these days, we must translate more than that. Katiya means the owner of the land, the owner of the sea, the owner of the sky. This is the meaning of it. Okay? This is just introduction. I don't know whether 2 hours enough or not. And for my head, I need break as well. Let's take about the 7 to 10 minutes break as well, after at 9 o'clock. Then let us go to the core democratic values. The first one is pluralism. Without pluralism, democratic system cannot establish. So they call the most important values of the pluralism. By the 6th century BC, India was more similar to 18th and 19th century of Europe. Then pluralism came and existed. In Europe, in the small continent, there are so many people. They are living each other so closely that they fought so many wars with each other. But no one could to fight to win, to get a victory. Somebody fought, another one fought again. In that way, there are so many civil wars. From this race to that race. According to the world history, Europe, the place, they fought more wars than the other regions. So finally, no one could get the victory. Then finally, they could find to share the power. Let us respect each other's rights. And each and every party has right to say that pluralism can and exist because they live so close to each other. But it's something like in the 6th century BC Buddha's time. More clear ones, the Asuka's time. They are still so close. Some big populations also quite big. Okay, so then what can we say about the pluralism from Buddhist point of view? Buddhism go against this pluralism or Buddhism go along with this? What do you think? Go along with this pluralism. First of all, let us see. Buddhism rejects gender discrimination. Male or female, all the same according to Buddhism. It's a state of pluralism there. Then, how about the caste system? The caste system is deeply rooted in India until now. But Buddhism rejects the caste system. Of course, the pluralism. So let us see our Buddhist organization. The founder was who? The Buddha. He came from which caste? Katiya caste. The founder was a Katiya. And his 2 chief disciples, do you remember who are they? Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mangala. Who are they? Which caste belong to? Brahmin. Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mangala, both of them are Brahmins. How about the Venerable Mahakassapa, the 3rd chief disciple? Venerable Mahakassapa also the Brahmin. So then that means pluralism is there since the Buddha's time. The founder was Khattiya. His three chief disciples were Brahmins. Do you think all the monks and devotees who came from belong to Khattiya and then Brahmins and caste? No way. Let us say among the monks, majority of monks came from middle class people. Not all came from Kshatriya and Brahmins. Why? Khattiya, they are warrior, they are king. That is why most of them were too proud. Too proud. Because of their pride, they were not ready to follow this spiritual path, what the Buddha showed. Because they were king. They were too proud until now. How about the Brahmanism and Brahmins? They were known for highly educated people, very smart people, until now. If you don't believe it, just ask your Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew. According to him, Indian Brahmins can challenge any people, any brightest people in this world. Is it true? Even in the Buddhist teaching, the Buddha discusses this Aganya Sutta and Vasita Sutta and all these about the universe with Vasita. Vasita was a Brahmin. To me, Vasita is so smart guy. You know, all the serious issues we discuss refers to him. Like Vasita Sutta, if you have a chance, or maybe you request the Bhante Cittara to discuss all these suttas. Aganya Sutta and Vasita, very profound and very long and very complicated issues. So to me, Vasita, very smart, very bright. So yes, Brahmins are very smart guy. Let us say, if someone is highly educated, he was also too proud. Some people can suppress their pride. Some people cannot. That is why, generally speaking, to those who are highly educated, to those who have a power, tend to be too proud. That is why they were not ready, unfortunately, to follow the spiritual path, what the Buddha showed. How about the lowest caste? They were not confident enough. Illiterate people are not confident enough. At least you must have some education to some minimal level. Then you have a confidence. Then you dare to speak out in public. Generally speaking, if you are not educated, if you're illiterate, you have no confidence. The same way in the Buddhist, the order of the Sangha or Buddhist community, we could say majority of them are middle class people. Yes, there are some high class people as well, but majority came from the middle class. That is the democratic rules, right? When democratic rules established, when democracy became a stronger and firmer, then that means when the middle class people are bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger, in that society, democracy can exist. So, according to the Buddhism, of course we have pluralism. Buddhism had a pluralism. Okay, so let's go. How about individualism? It's also very, very important. How do you understand about the individualism? People can try whatever he wants, so long as no affect to the others and respect each other's right, and so on and so forth. The meaning of individualism is very long. Okay, generally I think you understand about the individualism. My question is, what the Buddhism could say about individualism? Individualism goes along with the Buddhism or goes against the Buddhism? What is your opinion? Do we accept individualism? Definitely yes. I think I'll show one example. The Buddha gave titles to many people, right? For example, Venerable Sariputta was excelled in wisdom. He was the most educated one. Venerable Mangala was excelled in supernatural powers, and so forth. So the Buddha recognized each one's strength. Everyone is practicing and following the same teaching, but individuals' talents are always different. Can never be the same. This is individualism. Giving or rendering the titles are way of accepting individualism. There are other things. I think all of you know, Venerable Devadatta request 5 things. The Buddha say no. Okay. Let us see, first of all, let us say lifelong practice. Lifelong practice means the Venerable, like in the Venerable Mahakassapa, he never accepted anyone's donation to anyone's house. The whole life, he went for armstrong for his survival. King or the millionaire, whoever invite, he said no. So that was his lifelong practice. So such things, Venerable Devadatta advocate that the monk should be like that. The monk should not accept anyone's invitation. The Buddha reject no, up to them. If they want, they go for armstrong. If they want to accept others' invitation, if he was invited in the proper way, he could accept. He can accept. So it is the individual rights. The Buddha never get involved in all these things. How about the veg and non-veg? In the Buddhist teachings? Veg or non-veg? In our Theravada tradition? Did the Buddha say anything about it? No, it's the individual's choice. Veg? Okay, up to you. Non-veg? It's up to you. The one thing, don't make much trouble to the people. Is it good enough? Sometimes even the veg can make some troubles to others as well. In some countries, it's not possible, not easy to get the veg. No, I'm veg, I'm veg. No, I don't eat, I do this. And the people or devotee have to find out here and from. Finally, could not get anything. So that, okay. So, it's individual's choice. Would you like to follow all these lifelong practices? Or you want to be a veg or non-veg? It's up to you. Individual's choice. The Buddha always respect that one. Individualism. Yes, to me, I strongly believe individualism is nothing new to us. We accept individualism. So, a very famous Dhammapada teaching, one relies on oneself. No one can rely on, no one can be his reliance. He can rely on himself by training himself, by disciplining himself. It's individualism. In the 6 qualities of the Dhamma, do you remember? Paccatta, Veditapo, Vinyuhi. Dhamma should be realized by the wise in his own way or individually. So these are individuals. So to me, individualism is nothing new to the Buddhism. We have already accepted individualism. Buddhism strongly supports individualism. No problem for us, whether you say individualism or not. According to the Buddhist teaching, we strongly believe in individualism. We strongly accept individualism. However, this is a teaching. In practice, sometimes it's tell different stories. I will share one more story here. The Japanese doctor won a Nobel Prize in medical science. Then the whole Japan was overjoyed. We could do whatever you do, the Western people, Americans. However, a few hours later, the Japanese doctor said, if I didn't have a chance to study in the university in the United States, I would not get this prize or problem. So they tend to respect individualism more than us. Is it true? But Buddhist teaching, yes, we respect individualism. You want to strengthen your concentration? Go for it. It's a Venerable Mangala. Venerable Sariputta, no, I'm not that way. I'm more focused on education. Then he became the best one in education. So Venerable Katsuma, no, I don't like all these things. I just want to stay under the tree. I don't even want to live in the city. I will stay away from you. Okay, up to you, go. Venerable Mahakassapa always live in the forest. Never go to anyone's house. He just go around for his food. He's taking his own way. How about the devotees? All the same, they are taking their own ways. But we are still under the same teachings of the Buddha. But we take our own ways, not always taking the same path. It's called individualism. But we need to respect individualism as well. So the third one is check and balance. It's also the core values of a democracy, check and balance. What can you say about the check and balance? Can you find any reference Buddhism accept the check and balance? Okay. Check and balance in politics is all about the power. Sometimes check and balance is about morality or ethics. When we talk about the morality or ethics, we have something to say, for sure. We talk about the power, no, Buddhism never teach about it. But for the spirituality, we have something to say. Mainly, all our linear rules based on the check and balance. I will share a few more cases. After we've ordained, we are newly ordained monk. Stay in the Sima house, okay? Stay in the Sima house. We haven't come out yet. So our teachers advise us, you are going out from this Sima house as a monk. You are no more a novice. Remember these things. First one, 4 things to be avoided. 4 things to rely on. 4 things to be avoided, hear me. No sexual intercourse, including the animals. Once you did commit it, you are not a monk anymore. 1 rule. Second rule, don't take any human's life. Don't brace for death. Do not accommodate them to commit suicide. If did so, you are not a monk anymore. Very strict. The third one, don't tell lies. Sometimes you may say something, sometimes not verbally, but you may show something that you have something natural, supernatural powers. Is it telling lies? Then you are defeated. No more monk. The last one, stealing. Don't steal anything. Even the tiniest things, don't steal. Then these things are true before we came out from the Sima house. These are called 4 things to be avoided. 4 precepts. Another one is 4 things to rely on. This one is the first one is foods. First precept, after becoming a monk, you must try to survive by going around for alms food. Then that will be very strict, very hard to follow, somewhere like in Singapore. If there is no check and balance, there's no monk in Singapore. No monk could survive here. Nobody is offering alms food. Even you go, the government will arrest you. No way, no way, no escape. If there is no check and balance, no more monks in Singapore. Even in Mangala, Vihara, this month, on the 9th, only once a year. Only once a year. But even once a year, maybe we started a few years ago. Before that, nothing in 1 year. Now we have once in a year. So then that means, so the Buddha check and balance. Not only that, if you were invited by the devotees in a proper way, if it's right, you can accept. If they prepare for you, if they prepare the food for you, or if they invite you to their home, to their house, then you can accept. It's a balance. First rule is too strong, too strict, and no one can follow it. But check and balance, okay, you can also accept. Now in this day in our temple, the cook got prepared for us. We don't have to go. Because of the check and balance, we can survive here. Without this check and balance, no more. No monk could survive in Singapore. Not only in Singapore, in Europe and America as well. Then robes. Robes also, you must collect it from the robe. The pieces of robe, and collect the pieces of robes, and you dye, and you sew, and you make the robes. You must wear that. It's not possible anymore in Singapore. It's a very clean country, and there is no pieces of robe on the street. Another thing, cultural difference. What you wear and what the Indian ladies wear is totally different. Indians wear the saris, no? If I get the 2 saris, I can make the 1 robe, no problem. Even I get your t-shirt or trousers or whatever, I cannot make a robe, sorry. So this rule is too strict for us. So the Buddha said, if the government, if the people donate the robes in a proper way, in a proper robe, you can also wear. That's why we are offering and donating the Katina robes each and every year. We can wear it. First rule is no, very strict. You collect the pieces of robe and you make the robes yourselves. Then you dine yourselves. Then you wear it. No way, not possible. It's the second rule. Check and balance there. Monastery and a shelter, only under the tree, you know. Once you become a monk, don't worry about any shelter. Once you have a tree, you must know that your monastery. A tree can be your monastery. But now impossible. In India, 3 months of raining. In Singapore, throughout the years, it keeps on raining. In India, raining tree only 3 months, all right. And in Singapore, throughout the year. Singapore seems still all right. How about the Norway or Denmark? Not possible. Without shelter, no monk could survive. So then, the check and balance again. Okay, if the people donate you in a proper way, in a proper burden, you can recite. Decide then. In shelter, as a shelter or monastery. So check and balance. The hardest part is the last one, you know, medicine. Urine. Cow's urine must be your, not the ox, you know, cows. Ox urine, and occasionally you may put in small fruit, the salt and sour fruits, and tight it, watertight, and airtight, and keep it for 6 months or 1 year. Then open it, you take it as a medicine. The smell is very horrible to me, you know. How impossible? If I cannot take other medicine, to be honest, I will be a monk. For your medicine, you must take only this medicine. No way, I cannot take it. It's not medicine. My friends in Yangon, one of my roommates, he used to take this medicine. Smell, sting the smell for in the rooms for the whole day, Sometimes he asks me, okay, you want to take, no. You want to take a piece of trying to, is it nice, the Buddhist medicine? No, Buddhist medicine or no. I ran away. So they check balance. Okay, not only that, if the people are offer you as a medicine, the right years away, so there are rules. Some particular things can be taken as medicine. Then now, in these days, in the Panadol or whatever are considered as a medicine, that's why we are freely taking. We can only take the urine, the cow's urine. I don't think in these days you could see the monks anymore. No way. So check and balance could be found in the Buddhist teaching. Who made the check and balance to the Buddha? First of all, Jivaka. Do you know Jivaka? The physicians. Then another one, Visakha. Mainly, Jivaka and Visakha always check and balance the Buddha. The Buddha need to change it. Katina, non-Katina robes, it's because of the Jivaka. Jivaka make check and balance. No way, the Buddha should not be like that. You should allow it. Finally, the Buddha changes some rules. This is check and balance, right? So we say Buddhist monks' rules of Vinaya is a very democratic rules. Here, 9:30, for my head, may I take about 5 to 7 minutes breaks. You may also go down and take a little bit of relax. Thank you very much, and I'll come back. Okay, thank you. I think I must make a little bit short of it. Then check and balance, and then power balance. Power balance is only the power games. Nothing to say about this. If we talk about the power, however, if we are talking about the spiritual path, we still have something to say about the power balance. I think you all know that. Faith and wisdom. Is it only the spiritual path? But in fact, the power balance is about the power game. In Europe, they do not allow anyone to be a superpower and control the whole continent. Then that's why the smaller countries are united in balance again. Is it called power balance? If Germans are trying to control the whole Europe, then the French and England, they will fight. The same way, when the French are trying to control the whole continent of Europe, the other do not accept. They balance. If they are not strong enough, sometimes even the United States got involved twice or 3 times. So is it called power balance? So to me, when you talk about the power balance, it's nothing about the religion. But even in this power balance, if we talk about spiritual path, a little bit we can say something. In the Buddhist teaching, for us, faith and wisdom should be kept in balance. Something like that, spiritual path. Then another one, efforts and concentration should be kept in balance. If our faith is too strong, then we tend to be blind faith. And when we have too much knowledge, we can't believe in anything. So the Buddhist teaching, individual level, faith and wisdom should be kept in balance. The same way, too much energy, then we cannot concentrate. So effort and concentration should be kept in balance. Only the spiritual part can be found here. Not power games. Buddhism does not say anything about the game or the power. And state-based policy, I have already discussed it. The democracy in these days are state-based. Singapore is state-based. There are so many races, multicultural, multiracial. We don't talk about the race, we don't talk about culture, we talk about the state. Is it called state-based? Is it the core values of democracy? Is it only the first part? I will go to the next one. So then I will take out some democratic values, what the Americans believe. The democratic values are the fundamental beliefs and the constitutional practices of American society, which unite all Americans. These values are expressed in the Declaration of Independence, the United States Constitution, and other significant documents, speeches, writing of the nations. Okay, let us see what are these life. Each citizen has a right to the protection of his or own life. What is new? I think it's nothing new to us, right? What the Buddhism say? What the Buddhist teaching about this? Huh? First precepts. What's it? The first precepts. Not to not take it. Any person or anyone. In fact, because the Buddhism is a religion, our field is wider. Not only the human beings' lives, we still need to respect the animals' lives as well. Parnatipada, the first precept, is not humans' lives. Not only the human's life, others' lives as well. In theory, but in practice, still difficult to follow it. But we must also agree that the values of our lives are always different. Buddhism accepts as well. Do you remember the 5 heinous, heavy, wrong karmas? Patricide, then killing our hearts, and shedding the blood of the Buddha. Now in these days, no more Buddha, so we don't have to worry about it. How about our hearts? Very hard to know, very hard to say. Maybe they're very rare. Anyhow, so taking our heart's life is very heavy and a mighty karma. Why? The same lives, no? Because of that they are virtue. Buddhism accepts as well. We have to respect anyone's life. However, the values of lives are always different. Even in English, there's no same words. If somebody killed the president, is it called assassination? Huh? If someone shoot the alternative people, it's called murder. Huh? Not the same. In the Buddhist teaching, also the same. Taking the arhat's life is considered a very heavy, evil karma. So lives, the values of lives are not always the same. Sometimes our efforts, not the same. That's why karmas cannot be the same as well. Maybe you take a life of the mosquitoes, you don't have to put much effort. Huh? Not much effort. So it's around doing, but light karma. It's like a corn or whatever bigger animals, you need to put much more efforts. Such karma tend to be heavier karma. So, yes, lives we respect. Not only the humans' lives, we must also respect the animals' lives. But for a monk, is more serious about the lives. Very, very serious. So in the Buddhist, in our rules, we cannot even praise about the death. You know? Your life is so miserable. The death will be better than living. Maybe someone believe in me and trying to take his own life. Then, amongst defeat, no more lives. Something like instruction for the abortion. All these things. So, I think in the life, respecting others' life, protecting others' life is nothing new to Buddhism. We don't go against this one. It's very equal. Maybe our precept is wider. How about the Second one, liberty, is the second one. Liberty includes the freedom of beliefs, what you want, freedom to choose your own friends, and to have your own ideas and opinions, to express your ideas in the public, the right for the people to meet in the groups, the right to have any lawful job or business. What can you say about it? Liberty. Does Buddhism go along with this? There are a few cases. First one is the, freedom. How do we define the freedom? It's always different. It's based on the culture. How the Chinese parents raise the children, how the American parents raise the children, always different. I think not so long after the one book so-called The Smartest Kids, another book also published, written by Chinese author. Is it called Tiger Mom? The way they raise the children, always different. This is the definition of the freedom is different. That is why, now even now, I think the Asian parents seems correct, In The Smartest Kids, the Asian children are doing much better than the other students. They can challenge anyone in maths, in science. They are very strong, very disciplined when the child is young. But when the child is getting older and older, child get more and more freedom. They give them to make their own decision. It seems right according to what I'm reading, The Smartest Kids in the World. How the Asian parents raise the children is right. Their children are doing much better than they are enjoying their life more than other people. So freedom, we will never agree each other. What you say the freedom? Sometimes freedom without discipline, especially Chinese mothers will not agree with it. No. Make them happy with the discipline. They're very disciplined. Okay, so in that sense, we do not share the same ideas, freedom. However, our children, our Asian children, still have freedom. How about the freedom to speak? In India, yes, of course, the India, the earliest society who celebrate the debates. The Buddha did not participate in the debates. However, if someone came to the monastery, came to him, most of the time, the Buddha discussed, but it's not in way of debates. However, in India, there was very famous practice. I think in the Tibetan traditions, they are still doing some types of the debates. Quite notable, the teaching of the Buddha is regarding about the criticism. A Brahmin approached the Buddha, and then he explained a false situation. Some people just praise what should be praised, but they do not criticize others. Some people just criticize others, but they ignore to praise. Some people do both. Some people do neither. So he asked the Buddha, what is the good? Then the Buddha asked his opinion. What's your opinion? I think the last one is good. For me, whether I like it or not, I don't say anything. I just keep quiet. So the Buddha said, no, I don't follow that. I like the third one. If someone should be praised, need to praise. If someone should be criticized, just criticize. But our criticism should be in the right time. And factually right. Must be right, must be in the right time. If that's so, we should criticize. The freedom of speech. I think Buddhism does not go with this liberty as well. We have our own freedom in our own way. But teaching is one thing, practice is the other. Even in the Buddhist teaching, we found the slave and the master. In the Mangala Sutta, the duty of slaves and duty of master are found. So then that means, until 19th century, we accept slavery. Do you know who went against this slavery? Who initiated anti-slavery? Initiated slavery? England, United Kingdom. They initiated this movement. So practically speaking, England is the foremost one who practiced for each and everyone's liberty. We must respect. We must agree with that, and we must respect as well. 19th century as a superpower, British United Kingdom, initiated this movement, so-called anti-slavery. Until at the time, even in Asia and in India, we still have a slave. Now, no more slave. That's why we can say teaching is that the Buddha never encouraged to discriminate anybody. However, slavery exists in Asia for many years until, I think, in early 20th century. Then, now no more. Some people may argue that now no more master, no more slave, but we still have employers and employees. However, two different things. The slave and the master is always right. Slave has no chance to complain, no way. But in these days, employer and employee, employer cannot be always right. Right? Sometimes they got trouble. Especially in Europe and America and Singapore. Okay, so there are two different stories. Okay, so if we talk about the teaching, the Buddhism never encouraged to discriminate anybody. Anyone need to have their own liberty. However, in practice, something like a slavery, those who initiate the movement of English, we must respect it. Another core democratic values of Americans also called the pursuit of happiness. What's new? I think this one also nothing new to Buddhist teaching. Right? Nothing new. Why? First of all, I think you already noticed the Samanya Phala Sutta. Have you heard about it? I think so. Students of Bhante Cittara for 2 or 3 years. You have a note, I'm sure. Samanya Phala Sutta, the Buddha talk about the individual's liberation. No? Someone, the rich, maybe he's the poor, the son of the farmer, and he renounced, became a monk, he practices a practice. Then finally, even the king have to pay respect to him. It's a revolution, individual revolution. So he's pursuing his own happiness in their own way. It's very clearly, that can be found very clearly in Samanya Phala Sutta. The same way, in the Ambalatika Rahulawada Sutta, the Buddha also taught to his son Rahula. Before you do anything, think about it, whether it's good for you, or good for others, or good for both. If it is good, we call it kusala, or good deeds. Try to repeat, try to do it repeatedly. If it's not good for you, for others, and then for both, is it considered wrongdoings? Don't do it. So all these things, we have to respect others as well. We just try to find our happiness. And there are 4 types of the happiness are found in the Buddhism. I think you all know 4 types of the happiness. happiness of possession. Eh? When you have it, you are happy. Whether you use it or not, it's another story. Is it true? Once you feel it, I have enough. Before you consume it, it's another story. Some people just collect it. Before they consume it, they pass on, they die. But they are happy. So it's a happiness. When we have something good enough, then we're happy. It's a happiness of possession. Sometimes happiness of it consuming. When you are consuming, when you are using, it's happy. Some people have 2, 3 cars. They cannot drive 2, 3 cars. But they are happy thinking that I have 2 cars. I have 2 houses. Yes, we cannot deny that. It's true. They should be happy as well. So that if you have borrowed from somebody, you cannot be happy. Huh? Then no borrowing, then you're happy. Finally, the Buddha emphasized here, anana sukha. Navacca sukha, blamelessness. When you reflect yourself, you are blameless, then you are happy. This is encouraging us to seek our own happiness in the righteous way. And also the Mangala Sutta, Anakula Chakamanda, we have recited it every day. Huh? Madhapidu Bhatana, what is it? Support your parents. Buddha Dada Sangha, cherish your spouse, husband and wife and children. However, don't do no matter what. Anakula Chakamanda, your profession must be blameless. While you are seeking your happiness, while you are making money, you cannot hurt other people. So this is the Buddhist teaching. So to me, I strongly believe liberty and the pursuit of happiness stay within the Buddhist teaching. Nothing new to us. Stay the same with the Buddhist teaching. Okay. How about the justice? What could Buddhism say about the justice? Huh? All people should be treated fairly and get the advantage and the disadvantage of our country. No group or person should be favored. In theory, the Buddhist teaching is perfect. Unfortunately, teaching is the one thing, practice is sometimes the others. Unfortunately, we found all these things as well. The Buddhism say about the favoring the wrong side. You all know, right? Because of we love someone, sometimes we favor that one. Sometimes we don't like it, we hate the other one. That's why we favor some other. Sometimes we do not have enough knowledge. Sometimes we make the wrong decision. Sometimes we are feared. Then we favor somebody as well. This is a Buddhist teaching. Think about it. But the earlier 3, for example, like because of the passion, sometimes because of the hatred, sometimes because of the fear, maybe you might go the wrong side, or you may favor the wrong side. The last one is really honest, just simply because we do not have enough knowledge. That is why we favor the wrong side. So Buddhism here encourages not only to be honest, trying to be well knowledgeable as well. Only when we have enough knowledge, we can decide something is right or wrong. If we do not have a good enough knowledge, maybe we have a good heart, a good attitude, we are honest. However, we can still make some injustice in life. Okay, so Buddhist advice is that one. Another one is justice. According to the Buddhism, the comparison oneself with the other is the most important one. As a Bodhisattva, he reflects himself. He tries to put himself in the other's shoes. Only after that he can understand other people's situation, other people's feelings. Only when we compare with the others, we have a compassion on others. Without comparison, no compassion. If there is no compassion, there is no practice. There's no perfection. So we have to be very careful about this as well. So then justice, sometimes man-made laws are made by the man. Sometimes laws are natural laws. Two must be considered here. Man-made laws, because of the laws, it's become an offense. If there is no man-made law, there is no offense. But some offenses, natural offense. For example, as a monk, for example, I'm taking dinner, is an offense. How about for you? Is it offense? No offense. Why? There's no precepts. This is not natural offense. Because of the Buddha laid down the precept, it's become offense. If something is a natural offense, you do it, I do it, that must be the wrong things. For example, like taking anyone's lives, taking man's life. You do, stay around to it. If I do it, stay around to it. All these things are called natural laws. So here we must also respect mandatory or man-made laws as well as natural laws. When we have hiri uttapa, I think you all know, right? What is a hiri? Moral shame. Uttapa, moral dread or moral fear. Hiri, you think about yourselves. Uttapa, you think about the laws of government or punishment. All two these things are necessary in order to have justice. Okay? So for the Buddhist teaching, justice, the Buddhism encourage. The Buddhism always go against the favoritism. We should not favor anyone close to us. We should not make the wrong decision because we do not like other parties. And sometimes we fear of that. That's why we should not say the truth. Sometimes we do not have enough knowledge. So the Buddha said, because of these conditions, you might make the favoritism, the wrong side. Okay? How about the common goods? Citizens should work together for the good of all. The government should make laws that are good for everyone. Also this one, state-based policy. State-based policy. Common laws. Anyone must be able to practice. Is it called common laws? For us, we have a common laws. For the lay devotees, you also have a common laws according to the Buddhism. For us, is it called 227? For you, what is it? Huh? 5 precepts. I don't think you all agree all the 5 precepts. Let us say the Buddha suggests in the parliament, I wanted to introduce these 5 laws. The Buddha said, first one is taking others' life. Do you agree? I think a majority will agree. Taking others' life is not good. However, there will be some minority, something like fishermen. The fishermen Buddhists will not agree with that. No, it's not fair to us, so we don't agree with it. Anyhow, if the majority accept it, we must accept it. Second precept, what is it? Stealing. I think a majority will accept it. Stealing is not good. There's no excuse anymore. Huh? How about the third one? I think it's also no excuse. But for the fourth one, it's a common law. It's like the lawyer and the shopkeepers, they may disagree with that. Huh? It's not easy to follow it. Huh? Sometimes we need to say the white lines, and so forth. If it's in a parliament not easy to get agreement. Is it? But however, common laws, yes, we have a common laws. No complaints about it. As a Buddhist, there's a 5 precepts. Whether you like it or not, this is a common law. I think it's a common goods and then common laws and then common practice also quite get along with the Buddhism. I don't think it's going against the Buddhist teaching as well. Equality. Something to say about the equality. Everyone should get the same treatment regardless of whether their parents or grandparents were born, their race, their religion, or how much money they have. Citizens have all political, social, and economic equality. There's also the equality. Definition of equality always different. I have read the Lee Kuan Yew's idea, ethically equal, morally equal. That's what it means. Quite acceptable. Only 2 equalities. Ethically equal. Ethically equal, morally equal. Ethically, if you do something wrong, what I do is also wrong. I'm a prime minister, so is this right for me? No, no way. If something's wrong, that must be always wrong. Whoever is committed is no different. But what can you say about this according to the Buddhism? The Vasita Sutta, I've already introduced. It's very interesting. The Buddhists explain about equalities. Human beings, we are equal, generally, he said. In which way? Human beings are not like the plants, not like animals. Plants, for example, the leaves are different, too much different, you know. For example, banana leaves, coconut leaves, mango leaves. Normally they are not the same, just the difference is too wide. Is it true, right? No, the leaves, the flowers, totally different. The fruits, totally different. Banana and a mango, all different. How about the animals? Animals, the differences are very wide. Face of the dog and the face of the elephants, totally different. The size of the animals, always different, very much different. But the Buddha said here, human being, once we have a human being, there may be some difference, but the differences are not so wide. Your face and my face, what's the difference? We always see each other, that's why we can recognize it. Not easy, you know. Even the small area. All the equipment are installed here. I have 2 eyes. You have 2 eyes. What's the difference? 1 nose, 1 mouth. Nobody has 2 noses. Nobody has 2 mouths. Not like others. Maybe short and tall. Not like a snake and an elephant. Yes, we have some people short, some people tall, but how much different? Not much different. So in this Vasita Sutta, the Buddha says, in fact, human beings are equal compared to other kingdoms. Animal kingdoms, one animal to another. It's too much difference. The same the planets. Leaves of the tree and the fruit of the tree, always different. Human beings, we more or less are similar. This is the equality. It's a very interesting discourse, so-called Vasita Sutta. So the Buddha said equality. However, the Buddha never accept the result must be equal. We all became human beings. More or less, we have some good karmas. That is why we become a human being. However, it's equality. We must have equal rights. However, For example, we have a 24 hours each. However, the result will be always different. So the Buddha here says, Kammam Sati Vipajjati. O monks, this is a karma that differentiates the beings. Karma could be the past karma or present actions or present karma. These two will differentiate us. How about the science say? Nature and nurture. The two sources of inequality of humankind are, first one, nature. Second one, nurture. According to the Buddhism, nature is a past karma. Nurture is present karma. So equality is very get along with our Buddhist teaching. We respect that. We should have equal right, equal chance, equal opportunity. I think this is what the Singapore is going. Everyone has an equal right, but the result, there will be always different. However, we try to keep them in balance. We make the roads good. In the transport, first class transport. And in buses, in the first class buses. Then everyone share. That's all. But the result will be always different. So equality, I think according to the Buddhist teaching, equality is nothing new to us as well. We accept that, equality. Nothing goes against us. The truth, what's there? The government and citizens should not lie. The truth is our for the precepts. Nothing new, whether we follow it or not. Teachings are already there. For the government, for the monks, it's just trickier. Somehow, if we say something wrong, then finish no more. It's a very serious precepts. So in the Buddhist tradition, sometimes they say the Buddha, the Bodhisattva may commit some other wrongdoings, but he never tell lies. So then we respect this for the precept. But giving reaction physically is difficult. Verbally is much easier. That is why most of the time we fail to control our mouths. We have to be very careful about that. In the English saying, what's it? Action speaks louder than words. But the words travels faster than actions. Much faster. In these days especially, once you post something on Facebook and all over the world finish. Is it your words? What did you say? So have to be very careful about this truth. Of course we respect the truth. Buddhism respect the truth. Our first fundamental precept or the fourth precept, we agree that. Whether we practice or not is another story. So the diversity is also differences in language, dress and in foods, where parents or grandparents are born, race and religions are not only allowed, but accepted as important. In theory, yes, we have a Buddhist teaching. I have already discussed the diversity. In the Buddhist teaching, anyone can be in the same position. You come from the Khattiya caste, the Brahmin caste, or Sudra caste, or Vasa caste, come from any types of the caste. Once you become a monk, then a monk. No different, no more, nothing more. Is a monk. So we accept diversity. However, this is very difficult to accept as well. Something like in Singapore. What's the problem? To those who came to Singapore, maybe few decades ago. They are called locals. Local Singaporeans. But some people came to Singapore a little bit later. There, they took Singapore citizenships. Are they locals? Not only in Singapore, and all over the world. So we still have this problem. I'm sure even the United States, in terms of the theory, is it true? But in terms of the practice, still have Asians or yellow skin problem. Yellow skin problem. For example, when the Asian students are doing very, very well in school, the problem seems bigger. Asians are more intelligent or may getting better jobs and then getting more payments, then tend to be more problems. Okay, in that sense, the Buddhist teaching, I would say 3 types there. Loving. Sometimes the land is laughing at us because we say, this is my country. This is my land. When we think like that, the earth was laughing at us. Why? I have been here, I have existed so many years ago, countless years ago. This human being just came a few decades ago, and he is now clinging us, saying that this is my land. This is my country. Within less than 100 years, he's going to another place. He's going to leave us. We still be remained here. Even that so, this fellow human beings are still saying, this is my country. So whenever we say, this is my country, this is my land, the land of the earth is laughing at us. It's one occasion. In another occasion, sometimes jewelry or precious stones or whatever experience more expensive things. In these days, I don't know which one is the more expensive one. Earlier days, is gold or silver or diamonds, or these are called the jewelry, a very expensive one. So we also sometimes say that this is my gold, this is my silver, this is my diamond. When we hold strongly, all these things also laughing at us. Because I'm coming to you because your business is good. Once your business is not good anymore, I'm going to another place, another one, who is having better business than you, who has more money than you. So the most expensive things are going to the richest people. So when we hold it, oh, this is mine, this is mine, so they laugh at. Because we are here, we are with you, because you are rich, you are okay. Once you are not okay, we are going to leave you. We are going to the one who is okay. In that way. So according to the Buddhist teaching, if we think about it, I think we can accept the diversity. Buddhist teaching is a very simple and very honest, because we believe in samsara. What is samsara? Cycle of life. We have been together in our previous lives. So sometimes you may be my parents, sometimes I might be now parents. So in that sense, more or less, we all are relatives. If we think like that, diversity is no big problem anymore, no problem anymore. Since we have since we believe in a karma, since we believe in a samsara, we have past experiences, existences. We have living together. That is why you come to me today. Not without reason. We do not know what the reason was. Except the Buddha, nobody knows. But without reason, we will never come across each other. Maybe past life we have done something good, then we have a karma, past karma. We call it past association. That is why we come across each other. Without reason, you will not come here. Without reason, I will not come. So this is the Buddhist teaching. If we think like that, for us, diversity is not a big problem anymore. Popular sovereignty. Then also, I have already discussed it, Mahasamada, government or the king must be elected by the majority as the Buddhist teaching, according to Aganya Sutta. Yes, majority, not 100%. Because even when you do something good, some people do not agree with you. Is it true? Is it true, right? Is it good? For example, it's Amati. It's from Eunos to Kambaka. In our temple, around here temple, Amati, the track is bending. Huh? Let us say government think about it. Oh, it's too troublesome. We'll go straight forward. If there's so many people were happy, you know. It's because of the Mangala, we had a Buddhist temple, their train is bending. It's like that. It's like a rainbow. If we go straight forward, it's faster and save the time. But I think a majority will agree with that. But Mangala, we had a Buddhist temple, we don't agree with that. Huh? Can be considered as a good action. But we cannot expect everyone's agreement, whether it's good or bad. That is why the Buddhist teachings say, Chidana bhikkhave kamma vadami. What is it? Oh monk, the volition is a karma. I declare that volition is a karma. Intention is a karma. If your intention is a good, then it's considered the good karma. Once you act, it's very difficult to say is it right or wrong. Maybe 75% think this is the right, then consider the right. If it's good, you know, even you do something good or charity or whatever, we cannot expect anyone will be happy. Maybe this village in our country is a flood, natural disaster. The flood was there. Some people may want to make advantage of this problem. Then you go there and you help them. If that's so, these people who want to make advantage of this will not be happy. Is it true? That is why our actions, whatever we do, whatever we speak, we cannot expect 100% of the people will agree. That's why popular sovereignty or whatever, we can expect only from majority of the people. So Buddhist teaching, karma, yes. We need to ask only our intention. When intentions are right, can be considered as a good karma. Intentions are wrong, it's a bad karma. We cannot expect 100% of the people will agree. Patriotism, I think it is only about the country. We do not have much to say about this patriotism. These are 10 democratic core values, what the American society and Americans believe. To me, when I read all these 10 called democratic values, it's nothing new to Buddhism. But sometimes we must agree, teaching is the one thing and practice is the other. However, as I'm discussing about the Buddhism and democratic values, in fact, quite similar, nothing new. I think that's all, already 9:30. Maybe do you have any question? Maybe one or two? No question, I think. Huh? No question, right? As I always say, if there is no question, then that means you understand. Or you don't understand anything at all, then no question. Sometimes you understand clearly, there's no question, nothing more. Sometimes you don't understand anything at all, then no question. I believe the first one. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.